New this morning, a San Antonio father behind bars accused of severely injuring his child. The baby is in the hospital. Charlie Cooper joins us now live with more on the arrest. Charlie, what's happened?
Good morning, Barry. First of all, I want to say that child is 4 months old. Just take that in. There's nothing he could have done to possibly deserve this kind of attack. He's so young, and really nothing he could have done to prevent his father from attacking him in this way. But his father is this man you see on your screen right now, 30-year-old Terrence Harper. He was arrested last night by San Antonio Police Department on an active warrant for injury to a child. They say his son suffered a laundry list of injuries, everything from a fracture to his skull, a brain hemorrhage, and bruising all over his tiny torso. And right now, the baby is at a local hospital, clearly in bad condition. Police say Harper is refusing to speak with them. But Barry and Sarah, I don't know what kind of father would do something like this, but I do know that he will have ample amount of time to reflect this morning as he sits behind bars at the Bexar County Jail. Back to you.
Yeah, absolutely horrendous. Charlie, thank you for that update.
President